city was closed 40 days ago. At government bus station there were schedules for cargo but not sure they reached. Advised to choose car but it was at 2 o'clock tonight. Found no way to leave the city at daytime. One cigarette shop and one tea shop served in hiding. Around the lake in the Shalimar Gardens none was seen. Ferries were dirty as not cleaned for days together. Yet a houseboatman wholeheartedly and sincerely invited to spend a night in a good houseboat. But the car to Kargil was waiting with same sincerity in heart. The taxi stand was full of mosquitoes at night as if they want to eat those people come out on curfew. The security personals were strict but very gentle. By the evening the shop man served some food and closed. Cigarette shop was closed due to some evening gathering before selling all those needed. All that left was the humming eating mosquitoes. Taxi drivers talked aloud all the time. Midnight was far away. After some time a group of people arrived from Ananthnag and Pathankot chose to travel in the 2 o'clock fleet of cars. There were children, ladies and men. The children and ladies were packed in the car and men of different ages waited outside in the mosquito camp. Some of them were fluent in English and there came scope for conversation. When Muslim men speak academic English with ease it's interesting to listen. Cigarettes were shared liberally as they had enough stock. As general knowledge a young man from Islamabad told it's the name of an Indian village somewhere near where he is living. Searching the roots of Kashmir issue history and politics could not find a clear answer. Nobody talked about the horror surrounding. But everybody was aware of it though do not know what to do. Religious people find hope in God and left the conversation soon. Limitation of Hindi once again overruled. On the way to Kargil at about 3 o'clock at night military captured all the cars and drove to a ground away from road on security reasons. It was just before the cars leaving populated areas. The night was very cold. Shivering. The ladies had a good stock of blankets and it was liberally shared. Everybody slept in the clod night till morning. In the morning permission was given and cars sped up against a very big fleet of pilgrim cars going somewhere near Srinagar. People were afraid of them. The car reached Drass, the second coldest place in the world and served everybody with salted tea. The tea seasoned with Himalayan rock salt was tasty. Soon the terror started to vanish slowly. Somewhere after Drass the cars took a deviation to the top of a mountain and reached a village. The villagers welcomed everybody with utmost happiness. One of them showed the Pakistan border of LOC, that is line of control, on a nearby mountain. Leaving the villagers there some cars returned and some cars went elsewhere. Kargil was the next destination. The driver showed the bus stand and the bus delay was early next morning in the shivering cold. Lodge man gave a room with water heater, bath and rest. It was the season of apples. All kinds of apples were there in the market. A very big community feast especially for children of all ages in white caps was the show among the Vaisnadi. Replying the early morning alarm when reached the bus stand it was too early. One man was selling tea in the freezing cold wind from the river. The river made a lot of noise and people became accustomed with it. The river was light brown but with full of water. When sun rose people come and there were only a few passengers to lay. On the way apples were hanging from trees in the estates. A co-traveler was very friendly but he left on the way. Leh was too very cold. The Tibetan Plateau, also known in China as the Qinghai Tibet Plateau or the Xinjiang Plateau or Himalayan Plateau, is a vast elevated plateau in Central Asia and East Asia, covering most of the Tibet Autonomous Region and Qinghai in western China, as well as Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir and Lahaul and Spiti in Himachal Pradesh in India. It stretches approximately 1,000 kilometers north to south and 2,500 kilometers east to west. With an average elevation exceeding 4,500 meters, the Tibetan Plateau is sometimes called the roof of the world, because it stands over 4.8 kilometers above sea level and is surrounded by imposing mountain ranges that harbor the world's two highest summits, Mount Everest and K2, and is the world's highest and largest plateau, with an area of 2,500,000 square kilometers. Sometimes termed the Third Pole, the Tibetan Plateau contains the headwaters of the drainage basins of most of the streams in surrounding regions. Its tens of thousands of glaciers and other geographical and ecological